Hello everyone, it's Miss Binte here, and here is a summary for all the anatomical directional terms which will be coming in the upcoming exam, okay? So, first of all, why we need this, like why we need these super fancy words to understand why the life is not easy for us. The reason is that we have to understand we humans are such a delicate creatures and our body parts are even delicate that in order to understand that on which area specifically we are talking about, we need some special terms for that, okay? So we learn it so that it helps us to identify the location of both internally and externally about our body parts. So here I'm writing it down so that in your mind you guys are clear that why we need this one, why we need that stuff, why it is important for us to understand that these things are being used. Is this clear to you? I hope this one is clear. So anatomical directional terms, the reason behind it, it is just jotted down in few lines over here so that it's going to be understandable. The next part is that which anatomical terms we gonna use. Okay, this is the next question. Let's go from the very simple way, okay? Like the words you want to use, and I will tell you how we use in the medical stuff, okay? So that it's become easy. Let's suppose you want to know or you want to tell someone that our legs are below and our head is above, okay? So in order to tell this one, it's gonna help you this. Now to understand that, first of all we have to understand that when we say or when we talk about anatomical terms, or when we talk about anatomical things, how we have to stand or in which part or the way, because listen, if we're sitting down, then there will be different slang. So there should be a criteria like how the body should be so that these anatomical terms could help us. So the anatomical position, the way we are thinking the body should be, this is the way, this is how you should understand the body should be so that these terms are applicable for you, okay? So first of all, what you have to do, I want you to do that. First of all, do it the way I'm writing it, okay? So first of all, upright standing. So first of all, stand up, okay? Stand up, stand up. It's not a punishment, just stand up, okay? Secondly, what you have to do is that you have to arms at side, okay? Your arms should be at side. It's not folding. It's not on your head, just arms at side, okay? And I will show you the picture in a second, okay? Arms at side. And third thing which you have to do, you have to keep your feet together. Don't just do or some type of exercise or squats, no. Okay. And thirdly, you have to do that your palms should be facing forward. This is super important. When you stand like this is an anatomical position according to biomedical teachers, according to your medical doctors. This is an anatomical position. So there are four things in anatomical position, okay? You have to stand, arms should be aside, palms facing forward, and the feet to be together, okay? And I wanted to show you the way it looks like, okay? And I hope that you remember that when I was delivering the lecture at university, I was showing you that how we have to stand out. But over here, if you see all these pictures, okay, so palms facing forward like this, standing upright, feet together, this is the way you have to do it. Because I have to share this PDF with you guys, so I am drawing in this diagram over here so that it's easy for you to understand. So anatomical position, this first thing should be clear in your mind, that in order to understand anatomical terms, anatomical position is super important, okay? Now let's go with the terms with super easy way, okay? Whatever we use in normal life, what do we call in medical terms? So you want to say that, as I was saying, that your head is above, your feet are below. What do we call this above, okay? So when we say above, what do we call above? If you want to work on cadavers, if you're working on dead bodies, okay, so above, what do we call? Above, okay, it is called as superior, okay? You know, you have used these words in daily life, okay? You have used these words in daily life. It's called superior. Above is called superior, okay? And when you say superior, it means that vertically it is closer to the head, okay? The part of the body which I'm talking about, vertically means straight, okay? So vertically closer to the top of the head, okay? So this means, can I say my neck is superior? Superior means that it is vertically it is close to my head. Okay, my chest is superior, which means vertically it is close to head. This is what above. We will not say above. No. When we talk, can you see I'm talking referentially? Can I say that my chest is superior, which means it is vertically close to head? Okay. When it comes to below, automatically it should come into your mind. If that is superior, this is going to be inferior, correct? It's called inferior. Inferior means that it is close to bottom of the feet. Okay, it is close to my bottom. Any part which I'm talking about, and when I say the word inferior with it, this means it is closer to my feet. Okay, so my legs are inferior, which means they are closer to my feet. My knees are inferior, this means they are closer to my feet. So this is what above and below. So when we say in above and below, can you see it's such a big idea, but when I use superior inferior context, it's become specific. Okay, so specifically you can tell that what things we are talking about. So if I talk about abdomen, correct, abdomen, normally people don't know what is abdomen. Abdomen is not stomach, abdomen. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay, so abdomen over here, exactly the comments you're giving up to me, that's correct. Abdomen is superior. Okay, it is superior to what you guys give me. Exactly, it is superior to pelvis. Okay, so pelvis bone, the hip bone, you could say it is superior to hip bone. Can I say that my abdomen is superior to hip bone, but it is inferior to what? Exactly, it is inferior to my chest. Okay, it is inferior to my chest. So can you say this is how we talk medically? So let me just put some numbers in so it can help you, like which things we talked about. So above and below, we call it superior and inferior. Okay, let's move on. The fourth thing which I want to talk about here, and if you guys have any question, just jot it to Jerry so that we could discuss later. Okay, so the fourth thing which I have to talk about when we want to say in front of, like this thing is in front of me, or this body part in front of me, how do we say that in biomedical, or how it could, you will see that in your books. Okay, so it's called anterior. Can you see, have you have heard these words? Okay, so in front of means it's called anterior. Okay, which means towards the front of the body. Anything which you are talking about, it is towards the front of the body. So if I say that nose is interior to ears, okay, so interior means it's front, interior, and my ears are behind, correct, a little bit. So nose is anterior to the ear, so it means it is towards the front of the body. Okay, the fifth thing which I want to talk about is exactly posterior. If this is anterior, then the other thing going to be posterior. Okay, in front of I use the word because exactly. Okay, Jack used in the class, like Miss Binte, why don't we use the word in front of instead of anterior? Just be fancy. Okay, so posterior means it's called posterior. What should it mean? If anterior is in front of the body, posterior should be back of the body, towards the back of the body, correct? Ears are posterior to nose, correct? If I compare two of them, if I want to tell the location of the ears, then I would say that ears are posterior to the nose, that ears are behind the nose. Okay, so nose is anterior to ears, so it means towards the front, and ears are posterior, which means towards back. Okay, so here is an important point for you, that's why I'm writing in red, that body part. Okay, any questions here? Exactly, perfect examples in the comment section here. Body part being either anterior or posterior, it depends on your point of reference. Okay, it doesn't mean that openly we are talking about this, that interiorly there will be a lot of structures, posteriorly there will be a lot of structures, but when we talk about reference, okay, so let's suppose the way I'm talking here, the way I said nose is anterior to ears. Okay, so I'm using two organs to compare things, okay, to compare my location. I'm using any reference point. Okay, so ears are my reference, and I'm saying nose is interior to that. And then when I talk about ears, I put nose as my reference point and said ears are posterior to that. So over here, let's write it together so that you could understand. So nose is anterior to ears, correct? And this is my reference point. Over here, my reference was ears, and I said nose is anterior to that, eyes are interior to that. Okay, and ears are posterior to my nose. Okay, so this is how we learn the words, the terms, the way we have to look at them. Okay, so this is the way you have to understand when we are talking about in books, when we deliver the lectures, the next lecture for sure, and when we're going to do the anatomy. Obviously you have to understand, and when we're going to do the dissection, when I say a nose is anterior to ear, so automatically understand that my teacher is talking about which reference. Okay, so let me put some fancy colors and let me just jot it down a little bit. Okay, so give me a second. So over here, okay, so let's box it out so that we understand what we were doing. And the things which I'm boxing it out, just remember that what my teacher is saying, what Miss Binte is saying, that over here we are talking about a reference point. Okay, so I will just box it out so that you understand. Please share this PDF with all of your friends who are not here or who missed out this. Anyhow, you can upload on our on the Facebook pages which you have, so it's going to be easier for them. Okay, sixth medical term which we're gonna learn. It is okay. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Okay, sixth medical term which we're gonna learn. It is medial and lateral. Okay, over here. So the sixth one which I'm gonna use here. It is medial and lateral. Okay. So give me a second. Okay, here you go. Okay, sixth one. Okay, sixth one is ventral and okay, sorry, I'm missing one thing. So sixth one is ventral and dorsal. Okay, sixth one is ventral and dorsal. Now ventral and dorsal, they are interchangeably used with anterior and posterior. Okay, ventral and dorsal actually have same meanings as interior and posterior. When I say ventral and dorsal, they are used interchangeably with anterior and posterior with referring to human and animal body parts. Okay, so dorsal came from the word dorsum, it means back. Okay, so dorsal means something is posterior, correct? Ventral means something is anterior. So just keep in this mind that keep this thing in mind that ventral and dorsal are no new terms. They are same as interior and posterior. Okay, some teachers want to use ventral and dorsal, and you would see me using when I will do the dissections of cadavers, ventral and dorsal, anterior and posterior. So we use ventral and dorsal referring to anterior and posterior. Okay, to human and animal bodies. And I should write here, I think I should write here that dorsum. Okay, dorsum, someone was asking me that dorsum, it means back. Okay, so dorsum over here, if I write it, dorsum over here means back. Okay, so dorsum over. So ventral and dorsal, anterior and posterior, they are no new terms. They are the same terms, just meaning the same. Okay, they are different terms meaning the same. Okay, the seventh one which I was talking about, we're going to talk about medial and lateral. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about medial, and you have to understand what medial is. If someone could answer that, medial, when you heard this word medial, what comes in your mind? What comes in your mind? Okay, medical. Medium, okay. Middle, who said middle? Excellent, keep this thing in mind. Medial and middle have a very great connection. Okay, they have a great connection between them. Medial and, exactly, medial and middle. Before that, just keep this thing in mind that if we want, okay, to describe the location of something, okay, that is relative to the middle of the body. Okay, that is relative to what? Middle of the body. Yes, if I want to talk about any part of the body, but I want to make a reference as a middle of the body, so what I have to do, I have to dissect my body from above to below, and I have to take out an imaginary line and dissect my body into two parts. Okay, from my head till my toes. Okay, so I want exactly, so medial and lateral terms are used when we want to describe a location of something that is relative to the middle of the body. Now middle of the body doesn't mean that you have to divide the body above and below. No, from the left and right side, this is how you have to divide the body, and I will show you in a picture so that you understand. The students who missed the lecture when we were delivering in the university, please watch this video. It's going to help you, otherwise you will not understand the terms which we're going to use in dissections. Okay, so it's better go ahead, focus on that video, watch it one or two times, search on Google's if you don't understand, so that you could get familiar with these words. Okay, it's important so that you could get familiar with these words when your professor, when me or any other Ajan use the word medial or lateral, you understand what are we talking about. Okay, so medial, yes, these two terms we are using when we are talking about, when we are thinking about or when we want to compare something from the middle of the body. Okay, and I will show you how. Okay, let's do a step-by-step thing so that you could understand what we are talking about. So first of all, medial. Okay, it's the first point. First, you will create a middle line. Okay, division of the body, which is an imaginary line. Okay, first you will create like a midline. Okay, which will divide the body. Okay, exactly. If okay, I will write slow. If you will create midline, okay, which divides, or division of the body, okay, which divides the body, okay, and exactly, division of the body, okay, which is an imaginary line. Remember, it's an imaginary line on the body. This doesn't mean that you will take a knife and cut someone. Okay, no, it's an imaginary line, okay, which divides the body into left and right, not above and below, not above and below, not above and below. Please remember, we have to draw an imaginary line from the head which will divide body into left and right. Now secondly, what you have to do when you have a midline, now let's imagine in your head, now you have a midline with you. Okay, okay, so which divides the body into left and right. Okay, now when you have a midline, what will happen? So here the second thing is that when you have a midline, first you imagine it. Now in your imagination, in your brain, now you have a midline. So the third thing which you're gonna do, then the body part. Remember, the third point is then the body part, okay, which is over here. Okay, for a second. Okay, so then the body part that is closer to the midline. Remember, then the body part which is closer. Now you imagine the line, okay? Now the body part which is closer to the midline, remember, is medial to the structure, further from the midline. Okay, and I will show you how you have to read that one. I know it's a little bit confusing. Let me write it first. Okay, then the body part that is closer to the midline, okay, closer to the midline, is medial to the structure further. Okay, is medial to the structure further from the midline. Okay, so remember, in medical terms we always talk about references compared to one another. Okay, so then the body part that is closer to the midline is medial to the structure further away. Okay, so over here, yes, I'm gonna give you some examples. Okay, for sure. If you see here, so your pinky finger, okay, your pinky finger is medial to thumb. Okay, so if you stand in anatomical position, always stand in anatomical position, and see, your pinky finger is more closely related to the middle line than your thumb, correct? So pinky finger is medial to thumb. It is close to the midline, correct? And thumb is further apart from the midline. Now let's go to the lateral one, and then I will write the example here. So lateral, the structure which is further away, okay, the structure which is further away from midline, okay, is lateral. Okay, so for structure which is away from that midline, that imaginary midline, is called lateral. And here's the example. Let's write an example so that it's easier for you. Okay, and both of them depend upon side you are referring to. Again, the important point is that both medial and lateral, okay, depends, okay, upon side you are referring. Okay, to define, first of all, first decide that which side you are talking about, then it's gonna be easier, guys. Okay, so please, guys, if students who missed the lectures, please watch this video. Things gonna be easy, otherwise it will be super scrambly for you guys. Okay, what we are talking about you will not understand. Okay, so example over here is, as I told you over here, is that pinky finger is medial to thumb. So first of all, stand up, stand in anatomical position, and see, draw that imaginary line, divide your body into left and right, imaginary from here, just imaginary line. Okay, and then see that your pinky finger, okay, you would see that it is more close to your middle of the body than your thumb. So pinky finger is medial to thumb, and thumb is lateral to pinky finger. Okay, so this is how you see, this is how we use the references. Okay, exactly. Okay, so over here, Maybe I will show you the picture, or maybe not, or maybe I put in the PDF, I add it again. So the eighth thing which we're going to talk about over here, it is, let's see, proximal, I think, yes, proximal and distal. Okay, now if you are, the way I was asking, if you heard the word distal, what comes in your mind? Okay, distance, great job. Difficult. Okay, distal, exactly. Distal means something is distant, to correct. See here. Now again, important point. The red things which I'm writing here, these are important. Proximal and distal. These are used to describe the location of the points of the body relative to our trunk, relative to our torso, okay, what we call about. Now what is a trunk? Most of the students ask me, what is trunk? Trunk is this part, like your chest area, correct? Your chest area, your abdomen area, this is a trunk part, okay? Neck, chest, trunk, exactly, this is your trunk part. Now this proximal and distal, again, we use these terms. Okay, remember I used medial and lateral when we are divide our body into left and right. Okay, then we are talking about medial and lateral. These slangs we're gonna use medial and lateral when we talk about middle. It's same thing. Do you use the same slangs with your friends and your teachers? No, with your teachers you use a little bit respected language. With your friends you use a little bit like not not cheap, a little bit low. Exactly, the words which we use. So in the same way, when we talk about medial and lateral, we are talking about the middle part, correct? The proximal and distal, these words or these slangs we used when we are comparing any body structure to our trunk, whether it is close to trunk or it is further away. Okay, so proximal mean it is the side, okay, or it is the structure which is, or it is a part, it is the side closer to our trunk. Okay, it is the side or structure which is closer to the trunk that we call proximal. Okay, exactly, proximal means that. And now forget about medial and lateral, just the trunk area, the torso area. Okay, so it is a side closer to the trunk. Okay, and if you see example over here, and let me do the distal one first, and then I will give the collective example over here. Okay, so distal over here means it is a side that is further away from the point of trunk. Okay, further away from the point of attachment of limb or trunk. Okay, so the point of attachment of limb means what? Exactly, the shoulder area till your abdominal area, pelvic area. So over here, distal, so it is a side further away. Okay, limbs means what? Limbs mean hands. Okay, exactly. Okay, so it is a side further away from the point of attachment of limbs or trunk, or point of attachment of limb. If you just want to cut it down, just say that it is further away from the trunk. Okay, so proximal, it is a side closer to the trunk. Now forget about, again, medial and lateral, forget about that. Okay, we are not talking about that. We are talking about not trunk area, correct? Proximal, it is a side closer to the trunk. Distal, it is a side which is further away from the trunk. And let me give you an example, it's easier for you. If you stand again in your anatomical position, all of you would see that your wrist, can you see your wrist? Is it closer to the trunk as compared to your elbow? Or elbow is more closer to the trunk? Exactly, elbow is more closer. So can I say wrist is considered distal, okay, while elbow is considered proximal to trunk. Okay, so wrist is considered distal to elbow. Distal to elbow means it's further away from the trunk, while elbow is closer to the trunk. Exactly, elbow is proximal to the trunk. Elbow is proximal to the, okay, here you go. If you proximal to wrist. Okay, so over here, proximal to wrist means what? It is, exactly, it is closer to the trunk. Okay, so can you see compared language? This is what we all use in medical. This is what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna do dissections. I'm again and again saying, guys, I want you to become really pro on the learning of the terms, because when I'm gonna use proximal distal, I don't want Miss Binte, what does proximal or distal means? I'm not gonna explain you there. Okay, so in simple way, we could say that wrist is far from trunk while elbow is closer to the trunk. This is a simple way of saying it. Okay, so I will write it here so that you guys understand if you don't understand the fancier part. Okay, so over here, wrist is far from trunk while elbow is closer to the trunk. So this is the part where we understand, and here is the picture I want to show you. Let's jot it down. So let's write human body trunk. Okay, over here, let's see. Okay, Which picture should I put in? Let's see here. Oh yes, CanHub, you can download it. They have a very good anatomical diagrams. It can help you. Okay, not this one. Okay, let's take the CanHub one. Okay, I will just put it here. Okay. So over here, could you see this is your trunk area, but these limbs are not included. Okay, so this is, and I will highlight it down. Okay, over here. Okay, this one. Okay, okay, let me do in a better way. Yes. Okay, here you go. So the trunk area. Okay, so if you see, your elbows are more closely related than your wrist. Even the wrists are not here, but just imagine the wrist going to be the next bone, correct? The next, exactly. So trunk and torso, this is the part. Okay, so over here, okay, the next part which we're gonna do is so this is a simple way of saying it. Okay, just imagine I'm writing everything for you guys, huh? Okay, ninth one. Ninth part is, I think there are 6 more left, or how many are left? Okay, okay, okay. No, we're gonna do the separate videos for the planes. I don't want to do it right now. It's gonna be so long video. Okay, so it's better you learn these ones, guys. Again, it's a reminder. It's a reminder why I'm saying it. Okay, because me, when I was doing the biomedical stuff, guys, it was a big deal. Okay, we don't understand what they're talking about. Proximal, distal, they're gonna go fast, and you guys be like, what was the lecture? We didn't understand anything. Okay, so the ninth term we're gonna do superficial. What does superficial means? You guys know, related to surface, correct? Close to the surface. Okay, or some people also want to say it external. Okay, some people call it external. So superficial, okay, also called as external, and I'm gonna write it here. Okay, and I think the charging of my pen is finished. Oh no. Okay, superficial, also called external. Okay, external means outside, superficial mean outside. Okay, it means towards the body surface. Okay, upwards, towards the body surface. Anything which is upwards or towards the body surface, that is superficial. Okay, exactly, towards the skin, you could say. Okay, okay, makes sense. Okay, if you understand that way, it's okay. Okay, the 10th one is, okay, before I go to the 10th one, let me give you an example here. If you see your skin layer, okay, the skin, exactly, the epidermis layer, can I say that it's superficial? To what? Again, you have to compare, you have to put a reference point, okay? Yes, exactly. So epidermis is superficial to the dermis. Dermis is the second layer of skin, okay? So I will show you the picture. I will show you so that it could be clear in your heads, okay? Epidermis is superficial to dermis, and here, let me show you, okay? So epidermis, I think you are familiar with this diagram during your IGCS, your A-levels part, correct? Yes, these diagrams, okay? So if you see here, let me pick up one. And which one should I take? I think this is better. Yes. So if you see here, the epidermis over here, it is the first layer, correct? So it is towards the surface and more closely surface. So it is superficial to dermis. It is superficial to dermis. I'm putting it here so that it's become easier for you guys. Okay, so the 10th part, which we're going to talk about, it is deep. And you know what does deep means, guys. This is the easiest one, I think, among all of them. So deep means exactly internal or inside, correct? Away from the body surface. Can I say that? In other words, can I say that? Give me thumbs up if you can. I can. Exactly. Deep, also called as internal, okay? Away from the body surface, okay? Let me write it here. Away from the body surface. Okay? Okay. Exactly, also called internal, means away from the body surface. Okay, so can I say, if I said that epidermis is superficial to dermis, can I say dermis is deep to epidermis? Can I say that? Or hypodermis, the third layer of your skin, is deep to the dermis? Can I say that? Exactly. So let me put the example that in. Okay, the one thing which I'm gonna ask you in your multiple choice, not multiple choice, sorry, one-liners, okay, one-liner question is this, that I'm gonna ask you about the examples, okay? So deep over here, if I said deep, you have to give me some reference and give me an example for that, such as the way I'm giving. Hypodermis is deep to dermis, okay? Or you could say dermis is deep to epidermis, okay? In reference, I don't want like this dermis. No points are included on that, okay? So keep this thing in mind, okay? Exactly. If someone have written hypodermis and he didn't give me the reference that hypodermis is deep to what, okay? Exactly. Hypodermis is deep to what? Then I will not consider it. Okay. The 11th term which I'm gonna use here, it is contralateral. Okay. Again, I explained you the word lateral, correct? Exactly. Now it is contra. Contra. Have you heard the word contrast? Exactly. Contrast. Exactly. So contrast means opposite. Okay. So contralateral means on opposite side. Okay. Give me a best example for that. It's very easy example. Contralateral. Okay. Means on opposite side. Exactly. Or okay, okay, two legs are contralateral to each other. Okay, great job. And the other one you could take is that are exactly. Okay, so the other one is that both arms are contralateral to each other. Okay, or both hands are contralateral to each other, or both feet are contralateral to each other. So this is the 11th way of saying it. So contralateral means that they are opposite of each other. The contralateral. The 12th term which we're gonna do is ipsilateral. Okay, not iso, sorry, ipsilateral. Okay, now if contralateral are opposite, okay, what should ipsilateral means? Okay, ipsilateral means that they are on the same side. Okay, ipsilateral, the easy one, the easier version you could say, it means they are on the same side. Okay, so over here, no guys, just two more here. No, we're gonna not do the planes today. Okay, I'm feeling so low. So let's make another one for the planes one. And exactly, anatomical planes, guys. This is anatomical slangs in my language. Okay, and then we're gonna do anatomical planes. So ipsilateral means on the same side. If can I say that my left hand and my left arm are ipsilateral to each other? Okay, or my left hand or left ear are ipsilateral to each other, correct? My right hand and my right arm are ipsilateral. They are on the same side. Okay, they are ipsilateral. They are ipsilateral to each other, so it's easier for us. So human body, if you see here, I will highlight it for you so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Okay, let me take a picture. There are so many pictures. I should have got a collection from the university website. It's going to be easier for us, isn't it? Okay, so let's take this picture. Okay, and okay, here you go, and let me highlight it and oh, okay, here you go. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, and yeah, better. Okay, so over here, left ear and I don't know whether it's left or right on the other side, but this ear and this arm are ipsilateral to each other. Okay, so ipsilateral means on same side. Okay, let's move on to the last part, guys, quickly. 13 one is invagination. Okay, invagination, some people call it, and I am sure, like I'm 100% sure, Jack and exactly Jack, Sim have learned these words. Invagination you might have heard in your A levels or in IGCS. Exactly, engulfing. Okay, I exactly. Okay, perfect. Okay, so invagination means it's an anatomical structure. Anatomical means related to your body. Anatomy means body, correct? Anatomical structure which folds up or enclose into a sheet-like structure. Okay, folds in. Okay, exactly, folds in. Okay, it should be folds in actually, fold, not folds up. Okay, folds in or enclose into a sheet like structure. It comes in, and the best way to remember is the one you have done in your IGCSE, the engulfing part where we see how the vesicles are formed. Okay, and if someone doesn't know, it's okay, just remember this term which I'm saying. Invagination means anatomical structure which folds up or close into a sheet. Okay, let me, I want to draw a circle here so that you could remember that is coming from your IGCSE concept. That's not a beautiful structure. Okay, let me draw it again. Okay. Okay, here you go. Ooh, see the magic? Okay, so over here, which notes I'm using, they are called cola notes. Okay, they recently come and they have a lot of features. The other ones, you know, you have to pay, but for students I think they are a bit handy. You don't have to pay much. Okay, so over here, so this is a cell, and remember, if something comes into the cell will make a short vesicle and could come into that engulfing. The invagination is some sort of like that thing. Okay, so this is what invagination is. Okay, so engulfing, I'm just writing here the engulf part which you have learned. Okay, in your previous classes, okay, in your schools. Okay, now the fourth one which we're going to talk about is evagination. Evagination means something that folds out, throughout, spit out. Okay, so engulfing, which is what's coming from IGCSE, okay, which you have learned in your high schools. Evagination, okay, this concept is coming when it is fold out, when you spit out something. Okay, so an anatomical structure which folds outwards. Okay, exactly. In invagination and evagination, both of them, I will show you some examples on them so that it's gonna be easier for you guys. Okay, and let me write some things here so that maybe we get a good picture from here so that you understand. Again, guys, I'm making this video because the students who have skipped the lecture because they were in their countries, they couldn't come back or some other reason, please watch this video so that you could understand our dissection parts. Okay, so let me take a good picture over here, and I think, which one should I take here? Let's see. Okay, I think that's better. Yes, could you see like it's folding in? Exactly, invagination or evagination, it folds out. Okay, let me just put this down so that you could maybe get an idea, or let me scroll down a bit. Maybe I could get some good picture here. No, okay, so I'm putting this down so that you guys could get an idea that what we are talking about. Okay, so this is invagination, evagination. Okay, so both of these terms, all of them, guys, it's super important, especially on the dissection part. It's 109% important, so that you could understand what we are doing. Remember, there will be one-liners question where I'm gonna ask you about the examples. I will see you in the next part. Have a great break. Bye bye.